Ha ha ha, boy and girl going nowhere special. This looks like it's filmed in a fallout shelter with acting that made me want to slam my head into a wall. Ha ha ho, I can't believe that this film even got released. There was no good acting and one good jump scare. Ha ha ho. Filmed in 1987 with audio equipment from 57, and this acting, me oh my, ha 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 ho. I'm John Renton with the retro review of Bloody New Year from 1987, written and directed by Norman J. Warren, written by Fraser and Hayden Pierce. Three fucking people were needed to write this. Three. The number of the writers shall be three, not five, not two, not four, not one. Three. Five is right out. So yeah, it's British. There are five idiots at a carnival. They get besieged by three chain gang members. Literally, they have chains, and they look like they're in a gang, and they are attacking these people. And then these people get away through the miracles of cutaways and really, really bad editing, so nobody has to take a goddamn bump, because the budget for this was £22,000, which is a shockingly low number for a horror movie in 1987. Even if you try to stretch every goddamn dollar or don't pay your actors, or you film a lot of it over, say, a couple weekends, and then do what you can with the special effects, which I will say there are a couple moments where at least they tried things. But this is really, really fucking bad. Like, I'm not mixing words here. This movie was truly atrocious. Outside of the opening credits that had a 60s vibe, and like one jump scare involving a film, and maybe the elevator scene, at least initially, there was just so much dead air in this, and terrible acting. Susie Atchison as Leslie. You have Nikki Brooks as Janet. Miss Jackson, if you're nasty, bruv. And you also have Colin Haywood as Spud, not of the rock star variety. Mark Powley, or however the hell you say it, as Rick. And then you have Catherine Roman as Carol. Had to reference my notes because I actually don't remember much about these characters. I remember a couple brunettes and one blonde. I'll let you decide if I'm referring to the men or the women. So, if you have seen this movie, please let me know if you found it entertaining, because I certainly fucking didn't. I'm going to talk about, like, things that I just noticed, just observations in this, because there's really no plot. There's like a bit of an attempt to like maybe explain that something could have happened to these people on this island that locked them in on this, so they're haunting this whole goddamn thing. By the way, that's what happened after the carnival thing, towing their boat away. They get in the boat, they hit some rocks, they end up shipwrecked, and now they are trying to basically get a call to the mainland and stuff like that, because the British area apparently has a lot of islands, I guess. I've never been to Britain. I don't intend to. I've heard some parts are lovely. But anyway, yeah, we opened up in 1959. And yeah, I don't really think this was necessarily awful. I just think that a lot of their budget went to the costumes and stuff like that. And then basically, like, one woman got pulled in somewhere after this, like, bloody New Year's party. It was supposed to go in 1960. She gets pulled in. So we smash cut to 1987. Once again, the audio is absolutely terrible. I mean, it had to have been dubbed in. And literally looks like it was filmed in 1977. Had it not been for a few of the fashions, it could have passed for 77. I said they were Australian at first, and I said to a buddy of mine, I said, those damn Wallaby Riders, and he said they're British. I said, damn British Wallaby Riders. And nothing but respect to the British and Australian people that happen to be watching this, all five of you, because I don't have much of an outreach outside of this country and Canada, but very British greaser guys that showed up. So, there was a point one of the old guys that literally looked like if Stephen Fry was even dumpier, was on this boat. And the guy's dead by this point. There's no way. He looked like he was about 70 when he was doing this. I'm sure he's dead. And he is trying to attack them. For whatever reason, these people are trying to do that. Now, it's because they I believe they stole something, I think. But that's told in such a bad way that you don't necessarily care. And there's one point where their caravan, that with their boat, crashes into this carnival ride so they can all escape. I believe one of the crew is doing this. And then they knock off the old guy, and mind you, they're on a clear road and everything, and then they manage to knock him into some convenient boxes because they had a miracle cutaway. Now they're under a tunnel or under a bridge or something. Good editing there. So then they get on their boat. Suddenly the boat is leaking. Just like Wholesome Fox's Rosa Parks tweet. That is such a deep cut, and my God, if he happens to see this, he's going to kill me. So, no one can act for shit. Terrible makeup effects for the most part. Like, realistically, Robot Holocaust had better special effects. And don't worry about the others, they're all being taken care of, says this old maid. Nobody can figure out, by the way, that everybody is dead. And then at one point, one of the girls is taking a bath, and I see they can film a British brunette taking a bath, but God, by God if I do it. Kidding, of course, kidding. Might as well put that qualifier there. It's better to film them in the shower anyways. Moving on. So the ghosts are watching them. And there's just damn randomly spawning fishing nets that just attacked Leslie at one point. I don't know why this made me laugh so much. And now they're trying to basically get to a phone or get to a radio or something. There's stuff about this film that could have like a little Philadelphia experiment stuff, like a monitoring plane of like anti-radar devices or whatever it is. And then there's clips from the brain from planet Eros, or Eros, I think is how it's said. And there's a character, even though it's a bit of a cut, the character jumps out of a film and attacks, I think, Spud. That was creative. Wasn't necessarily pulled off the best, but it was creative. I'll give him that. Old Spud is dead. And then damn self-spawning fishing nets making Leslie possessed later. By the way, there's this weird creature that just pops out of this box that literally looks like they just covered something in a green sheet. Like, the island's supposed to be alive and it's supposed to do this, and that would be creepy, but they have neither the ambition to pull it off, or the ability to pull off their ambition, or the budget to see their ambition come to life. Like, there's about that much that works, and a whole bunch that doesn't. So then they repeated this shot with a couple people. I believe it was Rick and Janet, where there was laughter. It was like this laugh track in the goddamn haunted forest. It was hilarious. And they zoomed in on the couple. Then they zoomed in on the couple. Then they zoomed in on the couple. Then they turned it around and zoomed in on them from the other side. Why did we repeat that? Why? Why? For what? Nobody is alive from this production. At least nobody that I give a fuck about. But good Lord. So, the terrible music. Atrocious music featured in this. I mean, well, even that opening. Now, that opening song actually is pretty atrocious. That's why I mocked it. But there's a building that's blown up. And then there's, damn indoor British blizzards happening. So I think it was Carol. I think Carol was the one in the white and blue dress. And mind you, all their clothes were wet when they arrived at the island, so they put on these clothes. So naturally, maybe there's a way why these ghosts are locked onto them. I guess. And then Tom, he's gone because he got harpooned earlier. This did not look like he got harpooned. And then while trying to go out and look for Tom, suddenly the back porch is gone. So basically Rick almost falls. That was a dangerous stunt. That could have not worked out so well. The guy might have been able to roll, but that's a good 20 feet. So then we just get... And people just start randomly popping up. Ghosts just start randomly popping up. Leslie is all possessed and attacks and then gets netted and smoked with half her face melted or whatever the fuck. Quicksand suddenly shows up. Not a villain named Quicksand, but actual legit Quicksand. Quagmire, giggity. Janet is almost sucked in, but then her clothes are fine because they couldn't afford to dirty any goddamn clothes. This is a nightmare, just awful. If that isn't an encapsulation of this goddamn film, I don't know what is. Then Leslie shows back up, but Leslie is all possessed again. And then suddenly a guy with a machete shows up. I guess Jason Voorhees took a holiday, as they say across the pond. But he got hit in the head with a bottle and he's gone. He's not there anymore. And then Leslie, mind you, these same chain gang guys are showing up. So one guy actually showed up and punched Leslie earlier and then got lifted up because Leslie's all possessed and they got killed. And these guys are looking for something, I guess. I don't know. I don't care. And then this other guy that looked like he should be an extra in like a 70s martial arts movie got killed. He got his head twisted around where he looked like he really had some relief. Like, as far as chiropractic work, and then it twisted around too much. And he's not an owl. He's not Larry King from the David Letterman, deal. If anybody remembers that, deep cut. You're as old as I am. So, they're looking for a radio. Tom is back, by the way, but Tom is clearly possessed, and nobody realizes this until it's too late. By nobody, I mean Janet, because I think Janet is the dumbest goddamn character. Easily. So, they hear a radio. It's from the old plane. The person they initially saw was goddamn, like the pilot, and he blew up. So, clearly, whatever was on this plane or whatever they were doing affected everybody on the goddamn island. I guess. Then the elevator that Janet travels in, basically, she cuts off Tom's arm, but then she's all ooey gooey. Leslie has been shot and dies on the goddamn stairs, while there's this weird bird thing that grips onto her arm, like Janet's arm. I think it's Janet or Carol. I don't really give a fuck at this point. All these people deserve to fucking die. And, yeah, is it Carol? No, Janet. Janet gets sucked into the goddamn elevator. So she got shafted. A few jokes there, but I'll just leave them alone. And basically they're caught in limbo. We just needed the King of Limbo song to be played from Land of the... no. I don't remember. Limbo of the Lost. There we go. That's a deep cut for video game fans. So, they then squish this guy on a snooker table. Or snooker table. Or maybe it's a pinball machine. It's hard to tell. And stop fighting now is what they're saying. I mean, I agree. Stop this fighting. Stop this crazy fighting. Jane, stop this crazy thing. And then suddenly they are just sent outside and they're fine. Rick is okay. And, what the fuck? Rick is okay and Carol is okay. But then Rick goes back for Janet because he's an idiot. He's caught in a quagmire, and then the weird old British guy that punched Leslie through the chest, or the gut, and then got killed, is back, and he grinds Rick's face off with some kind of, like, lawn tool, and then Carol gets sucked in through the boat. So, and then they're all part of this whole damn thing. Well, I think Carol is caught behind a mirror. Help! Help, please! Terrible. Bloody New Year is terrible. Incomprehensibly, indescribably bad. So, agree, disagree, what I said. Like, share, subscribe. Twitter, Letterboxd, Blue Sky handles in the description. I'm John Redland, and until we do whatever the fuck this was again, and I hope never, happy trails to you.